What's up, man?
Oh, just another manic Monday.
um, so I have a confession that I want to make, and this is confessions of a shop owner, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I did a test run with this software with Braxton, and he told me that I had too much headspace, and I don't know what that means. I thought he was calling me stupid, but evidently there was too much, like from top of frame to here.
Oh, I didn't
He
know
said
that
it
was a
only
thing.
needs to be about yay much, right? And
So is
so,
mine good? Oh,
yeah, you're good. It's because you're a fucking yeti, but I'm a midget, and I'm sitting on two pillows in my office chair right now.
stop it. That's not true.
I'm 100% sitting on
Oh
pillows.
my gosh.
So, but
Oh
hey,
my
I'm
gosh.
framed just as I was told by Mr.
You
Braxton.
know, you know what? That's all that matters, I guess.
Well, I just wanted to start off episode 1 with a confession, and that's that I'm a midget.
Nice,
So,
nice. That's
I mean, I'm
great.
a little person. I don't want to be. I mean, midget's
Yeah,
rude, right?
ugh. Yeah. You don't want to use the M word. It's a
Yeah,
bad deal.
awkward.
It's a bad deal.
So, is there anything that you'd like to confess today, sir?
Uh, Today, what did I mess up today? I don't think I made any real big mistakes today. Um, I mean, I made a couple mistakes last week. I misdiagnosed. I did the opposite. Like a lot of people put a PCM in when the car just needs not a PCM, and I did the opposite. I put an oxygen sensor in, and the car needed a PCM. So
So you
that's
you did what everybody does. Wait. Well,
yeah.
welcome Braxton to our first recording of confession.
Are are you recording an episode?
We are actively recording. It's okay.
Well, this is. I mean, I don't feel bad because I'm going to be the one to edit this out.
There you go. And we gotta talk to you about your lighting, Braxton. I mean, it's
Wait,
really bad.
what
I
do you
know
mean?
it's coming down. You got nice headspace.
I went for
Yeah,
the halo look. Did I not?
yeah. It does look like you are either from heaven or being called to heaven. One or the other.
Hey, either one I'm happy with.
Oh my gosh.
I started episode 1 with a confession, because it is confessions of a shop owner. That after your advice on me having too much headspace, I'm now sitting on two pillows. So that because
Hey, you know what? You have the right amount of headspace and you're really comfy. So you're welcome.
it's good for my hemorrhoids.
I mean,
So-
it's probably good. Two pillows for me probably wouldn't work out because they would just progressively smush down. I don't think that goose down pillows can offer the support I require for my seating. You know what I mean? So
So you don't. You're good.
I mean, I don't know. Are we?
You asked one of us to jump on, but apparently.
Well, and then I said, never mind. We got it. God, man, what's going on with you?
Oh, you
Jeez.
did? Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
we're good-ish.
There it is. Never mind. We got him reset. Okay. I don't have to be here. I'm so sorry.
So how you doing, Braxton?
I'm good. I'm good.
You just wanted to be in episode 1, didn't you?
Yes, I did. Thank you.
It's quite the ordeal. We got it sorted out now. We had a little tech issues. That was a little tricky.
Well,
at first.
that's what episode 1 is supposed to be about.
Well, and the other thing that was great was that the world-class master technician known around the country as a problem-solving diagnostic technician, you know what the fix was? Turn it off and turn it back on again.
Turn it off, turn it on again.
Yeah.
Go, Mike, I'm going to turn this off and turn it on again. Sick.
All right. See you, man.
All right. So where were we? Oh,
I don't think you should edit it out. I think you should just leave it.
I know that'd be awesome. I did the opposite. Usually people just say, "Oh, it needs a PCM," when it doesn't. But I did my testing, and there's certain things that you just can't test that great for. And this was one of those scenarios, and I'm like, "Oh, it just needs an oxygen sensor." And
you were falling on the sword about that one on our chat with Jim this week, weren't you?
Oh my gosh, I get it. That drives me nuts when I miss one. This will bother me for a month. I'll have a problem for a month.
The ones that that tear me up are not when. So that was a you mistake, right? Which is why it bothers you
That's
so
a
much. It
me.
doesn't bother you
That's
as
a me mistake. Yeah.
it doesn't bother you as much as when a service advisor just fucking puts their foot in their mouth with a customer, right? Because
No.
it is what it is. It's frustrating, but you
Idiot.
get over it faster.
Yeah.
For me, it's when we mismanage a customer interaction. Oh, I fucking hate it because that's what where my skill set lays, right? I hate that shit. But we messed something up on a car. Well, I mean, just fix it, and I'll write a check, and we'll make it right. And I can get over that.
I was upset over that one because that's kind of my thing. Like getting the check engine light fixed right, you know, like correct, like immediately the first time is kind of like my deal.
Hey there, I'm going to tell you about something that has completely transformed how I run my shop, TechMetric. As a 20-year shop owner, outdated systems used to slow us down. Everything was clunky, from check-in to estimate building to customer updates. It all felt just super inefficient. Switching to TechMetric has changed everything. With TechMetric, you get a powerful shop management system that includes DVI, quick and easy estimate building, inventory management, real-time reporting, amazing customer communication, and it's really easy for your employees to learn how to use the software. I'm talking like a one-day learning curve. On top of that, TechMetric has tons of other tools to make you an even better operator. Stuff like integrated payments with buy now, pay later options is a huge asset. Ask me how I know. And recently, they've added a CRM component with their partnership with Shop Genie, which I'm a happy Shop Genie customer already. So I'm super excited about that. Now, obviously, there are a lot of factors at play here, but I want to give you some facts about my business since I made the change to TechMetric. In September of 2020, when I switched to TechMetric, my ARO was $293. In September of 2024, we were $916. That's over 300% growth. Now, I'm not saying that TechMetric created all of that change, but I'm 100% saying that I couldn't have come this far without TechMetric. It's a key factor in our growth and success. If you're ready to level up your shop, TechMetric has everything you need: productivity, revenue, customer experience. Measure up by every measure with TechMetric. Tap the link in the show notes to learn more.
And that was irritating because, you know, I kind of didn't do good at my deal. But the things as far as when other people are involved, as far as shop wide, like when we inconvenience somebody, when we make a mistake that puts a car on a tow truck, and I don't find myself getting mad at like the guys or anything. I'm just like, oh my gosh, like I don't know. Like I have 3 kids and I have to cart kids around and this, that, and the other thing. And when you put that car on the tow truck for the customer, you just freaking effed them so hard. Like, you know what I mean?
Their day, you've caused all sorts of logistical problems.
Yeah.
Even
The
if you get
logistical
a
problems.
loaner car to them in like 30 minutes, it's
Dude, they don't have 30
their
minutes.
headspace.
Yeah. We got, I get, the kids get off the bus and I get home and it's like, I mean, I got stuff down in 5-minute increments, like targets, like who's got to be getting ready for what at what time, because, stage drop off, this, that, and the other thing. And I'm just thinking, I'm like, oh my gosh, that person went to leave work. They couldn't even leave their job. Like, I'm like, this is freaking terrible. That's the one. And like a lot of times, like people aren't robots. Like guys are going to make mistakes. That's going to happen. But those are the ones. I mean, and believe it or not, like I always sound like I have no empathy for people. Like I do, we just had a guy the other day that, we're in a rural area. So we sometimes will sell a part to somebody, cash and carry over the counter. They'll be like, can you order me this in? Cause they don't want to run into town to Napa or whatever. Right. So we'll get the part in. The guy goes to put the part in. Well, the part breaks. Well, here's the real story. The guy went the wrong way with it. He broke it trying to put it in, right? And like I was to a point, I was like, you know what? This is a 10-minute job. I'm going to drive over there and put this part in for this guy. And my service writer's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, could you freaking imagine having your car stuck in your garage? You got a million things to do. It's 3 weeks to Christmas or less, 2 weeks to Christmas now, right? 2 weeks to Christmas. And you can't get you just can't do it. You just can't make it happen. And there's somebody else that can just solve your whole freaking problem in 10 minutes.
Hey, everybody. I wanted to take a minute to tell you about the coaching organization I've been involved with for, over 20 years now. Elite. Elite Worldwide, they don't give you a one-size-fits-all solution. They tailor the coaching specifically to you and your shop. They pair you with an experienced coach who is either a current or a former shop owner, and they turn strategies into actual action and accountability and results. Whether it's improving your service advisor's sales, growing your shop, growing to multiple locations, they really have you covered. They've got training for all of those things. Clients of Elite really see results, higher profits, stronger teams, a better work-life balance. If you're ready to take the next step, visit eliteworldwide.com to schedule your discovery session. That's eliteworldwide.com to start working on your business rather than in it. Tell them that you heard about them on Confessions of a Shop Owner so that I get a pat on the back or maybe a box of chocolates or something. That would be awesome. Thanks.
And, when he's a good customer and stuff like that, I'm like, I'm just going to go. I'm just going to, and I did it, and the guy, laid a whole bunch of money on us, and the guys have been eating lunch for like days off of that. But so it worked out, right? But I don't know. I have a little bit of empathy for people, when they're in a jam, and then to be the person that put them in.
When you cause the jam.
I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm a freaking piece of crap.
Well, do me a favor and don't fuck up any more diags this week, all right, buddy?
Oh my gosh, it's tough. It's tough.
You know how I how I keep that from happening in my day-to-day work experience?
How's that? You don't get involved?
And never learned how to work on cars.
I know. That's, it's a disease. It's like my thing too. So when it happens, I'm like, oh, my ego hurts. Oh, right in the shot.
Well, but I bet you won't make that mistake again anytime soon.
Well, seeing as how after 22 years is the first time I've seen a Dodge do that, I'll probably be retired by the time the next one comes around. So I'm not too worried about it. But
if you do anything right, you should be retired by then, right?
I hope so.
All right. So we've each had an opportunity to confess. Yours was a little bit more work related than mine. Mine was just height related. But I was actually bragging on you Friday night. I hate that you could make it to Friday night because the conversations Friday night kind of vary widely and bounce all around.
Mm-hmm.
But
sure.
We came down to a conversation about what it means to be quality and talking about being booked out 4 and 5 weeks and having more than you can do, and how I feel like that's an indicator that you should charge more so that you can pay more, so that you can afford more people, so that you can not be booked out 4 or 5 weeks. And then it came to, well, if you do all that, and if you've got a machine where you've got 10 technicians, well, then you got to start advertising because you got to feed 10 technicians and you got to market. And
no, you don't.
Said, it takes me back to my buddy Brian.
Just fix the damn car. Yeah, just fix the car, man.
If you just fix the fucking cars, then it seems to take care of itself.
This ain't complicated. That's literally what the people are there for. They ain't there to hang out. Well, sometimes you get some people that are there to hang out, but we had a shop Christmas party on Friday where we kind of invite a lot of our vendors and a lot of our fleet customers and just a lot of random people who are just maybe maybe even people that didn't spend a ton of money, but they're just nicer to us than average. Maybe. Does that make sense? And so we had over 100 guys in the building, and it was a good time, and had to start calling Ubers and stuff like that, but that's okay. Yeah. That happens.
I had to. We talked about this. Talking about having an open bar at company events.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, I got like freaked out after this last Friday.
The liability risk is a real thing.
So here's what
our trade is not known for our self-control when it comes to consumption.
So here's what I just ran through my head. So if you go, so now this was at the shop, so there was a lot of liability there. But our actual employee Christmas party will be off site. We'll rent a like a reception hall and stuff like that we got going on. Excuse me, that's actually this Friday. And I'm wondering the liability difference between open bar or cash bar and just hand everybody $100 when they walk through the door. I don't know. I don't know how it works. I don't know.
I mean, so I think that the thing to do is the wristband thing that I was telling you about. Is when you walk through the door, you get a wristband,
Right?
and you go to the bar, you order a drink, and they take a Sharpie and they make a mark on the wristband for the first one. They make a mark for the second one, and the third one they take the wristband off. And after that, it's a cash bar. It's on them. So you're buying 3 drinks.
So you can't. Do you guys know that happens? Do they know about the wristband?
You can't let them
You gotta
prepare
spring
for
it
that.
on. Yeah, because I was going to say I would just keep some Scotch tape in my back pocket, and they'd be marking the Scotch tape, and I'd be ripping it off like a little NASCAR tear off, little NASCAR drinking tear off, right?
That's 21st century solutions to 21st century problems.
Yeah, modern problems require modern solutions. I don't know. It's like the first time we've had this party a ton of times before. I mean, we've been in business for 14 years. We've had 28 between shop and employee parties. We've had 28 of these parties, and I've never really felt like it was an issue. And then,
But it got out of control this year.
I mean, it wasn't crazy, but it's like, maybe you get a little insight to what it could be, and you're like, oh, well, maybe we should maybe not do something like that. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, man. I mean, I like your wristband idea.
Went out of control. We used to have it at the shop too, and we'd have a local restaurant cater, and they would we'd clear off our entire front counter, and we would actually paper the windows in the front of the shop so that people couldn't see.
Customers couldn't see you guys freaking chugging.
Yeah,
right.
And we'd set up a full open bar, full liquor bar, and beer coolers and everything else. And the restaurant would send 2 of their bartenders down.
Right.
And they would work. And I had to pull I say kid, he was probably 22, 23 at the time, had to pull a kid, passed out of the bathroom, and then mop after him.
Okay, this wasn't that bad.
Wasn't anything like that. We put him in the back of a pickup truck, and it was freezing cold, and drove him home in the back of a pickup truck and put him out in his front yard, and then knocked on the door to tell his parents that he was in the front yard.
Oh boy.
And that same year we had one of our 55-year-old technicians who's just, I think, 55-year-old career technician who smokes a lot, and invited one of the bartenders to come back home with him and his old lady for some fun time after the party.
Oh boy, he went unicorn hunting. Yeah, that's not good. That's just that's just not the look you want to have.
So I've never done another party at the shop. It was too off the chain.
I guess I need to count my blessings. This was not nearly that bad. It was more like you start to see when people had a little bit too much. Like, those are situations where somebody had a lot too much, right? You start to see a couple situations where people had a little bit too much, and you're like, you know what? I wouldn't want I wouldn't want them at the next level, or B, I wouldn't want to have to manage 15 people at that level. Right? One or two, right? 1 or 2 that went a little bit over. That was manageable, but it was like, oh my gosh, maybe we got to think about how we do this. It wasn't nearly as bad as what you're talking about. That's pretty intense.
And ultimately it's my fault for letting it get to that point, right? But it's not that way anymore. Our party is actually in the first weekend of January.
You do it after Christmas, probably.
Yeah. But we've rented out an entire, it's like an event space that has bowling alleys and cornhole.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's cool.
It's got 500 beers on tap. They're just tap walls everywhere. And when you come in, you get a bracelet, and you scan the bracelet, and I have it preloaded to pay for 3 drinks per person. So the computer just keeps tab, and they pour their own drinks. So they have pre-mixed cocktails that they pour. So my difficulty with that is going to be the non-drinkers are going to be giving their bracelets to the drinkers, and I'm going to have to.
It'll be like a James Bond movie where he holds the dead guy's face up to the eye analyzer, right? Come here, dragging somebody by their arm over there to get their scan, right?
Anyway, so I don't know. It's a delicate thing to balance, managing the liability, right?
I know, and I've honestly never really thought about it before. I'm like, big deal, everything's great. And then like you have like two guys have just a little bit too much. They weren't out of hand. They weren't like weird or violent or anything like that. They were just, it was like, one had to get a little bit corralled so we had to corral him a little bit to get him in a car to get him home, because he was pretty sure he was going to drive himself. And I'm like, probably not. And, another one that had a little bit too much, that peaked a little early. He was a little bit better by the time it was over, but he peaked too soon. He didn't, there's something to be said for pacing yourself, I guess. I don't know. That's kind of like how I like to operate.
My wife is a dentist, and she doesn't have a practice. She works a day here, a day there for friends, covering for them when they're off, that kind of stuff. Or somebody is on maternity leave, she'll go cover them, that kind of thing. It allows her to, do dentistry and go home and be a mom, right? Which is her goal, and I support that. But for a while, she worked for a chain dentist locally who has, at the time, he had like 65 or 70 dentist offices.
Oh my gosh.
Now he's up to over 100. Like regionally, he's in multiple states now. But it all started 20 minutes from my house in his first practice, and he throws the craziest company parties.
Oh, I bet.
It's like all 60 locations, one party.
Oh yeah,
he buys hotel rooms for everybody. He rents out the entire North Raleigh Hilton.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the North Raleigh Hilton. It was whatever Hilton property. He rented out an entire hotel. He had Cirque du Soleil performers.
Oh yeah,
at the party.
Yeah, there's a large dealer group around here that operates something similar. They rent out an entire Six Flags theme park, and then they bring in a big country headliner. Typically somebody who's judging on The Voice or something like that too.
Nice.
Yeah, wow. It's pretty great. Like an entire freaking theme park they rent out.
That's evil shop owner level money right there.
Yeah, they they're the same ones that get all the kids that go through the college program, right? Because they're the ones that are writing the checks over there big time, right? So they get. I just was at a career fair over there. There's an independent shop owners group around here, and I said I'll go over talk to some of these kids at this college, right? And it's so funny that dealer group is the one who writes the biggest check. And how the whole thing works is they march where the kids were at. That dealer group, their table was actually the furthest, and they march all the kids right past you, right down to their table first. I'm like, wonder how big of a check you got to write to get that to be marched to first. But it's probably
so we
larger.
Talking to some of the community college people here about some of their struggles, and one of their big problems is graduation rate, right? It's under 50% of students that start the automotive program that actually finish it. And you think, well, there's going to be some dropouts, or there'll be some kids who move, or whatever it might be. But the biggest problem is the kids who have promise are sniped by the dealer groups who say, you don't need to finish your program, just come and start working.
Yep. There's that.
And then they burn them out as lubies and treat them like shit. And
are they doing the AAS degree or whatever? There's a degree where you got to take separate math and science and all that stuff. And then there's a degree where, I wish I had the terminology down. I feel like it's an AAS or an AOS. And anyways, they're both associate's degrees. Yeah. They're both associate's degrees, but one you have separate English, math, and science. So like you might go to auto shop, and then you got to go like take calculus in a different classroom, an actual classroom setting. And then there's one associate's degree where they like pile it all in. Like, this is here you're going to measure this cylinder, and that's your math. Right. So,
I think like English, math, and science are good core knowledge base points. Like, you need to be able to write a story.
Sure. But sometimes at the community college, the guys go to English and they're reading Shakespeare. Like nobody gives a shit. Yeah. Wherefore art thou vent solenoid? Yeah. No, thanks.
Wherefore art thou vent solenoid?
Yeah. You know what I mean?
That might be that's the title of this episode.
Right. But I don't know.
Right,
That was a huge.
I gotta reel us back in here.
Okay.
Talk about what we're doing and why we're doing it, right? So Confessions of a Shop Owner, it was originally supposed to be Confessions of a Shitty Shop Owner. But for whatever reason, I realized that maybe not everybody that we'll have joining us on this podcast may be shitty, or at least not every day. I know that some days I am a shitty shop owner, but not every day am I that. And I'm going to be totally honest. Lucas was really uncomfortable with that title. Bad language makes him very uncomfortable, and he didn't feel like we should have that title. So
I feel like it's okay, but whatever.
Well, I mean, some days I'm a great shop owner. It's usually Sundays because we're closed.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, there's some days that I'm like confused. There are happy days. There are sad days.
Right.
There are rage-filled days.
Right.
Rage burning like the red-hot fires of 1,000 suns.
Like that level angry?
I mean, it happens, right? But anyway, so so we had the Friday night Zoom calls that we've been doing for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And they happen not every Friday night, but maybe once or twice a month.
Sure.
And we did one you were at your company party, I think, but we did one last Friday and it went 3.5 hours.
Oh
right?
My gosh. I was so bummed I missed it too.
It was a good time. But people kept saying, "Hey man, did you record that? I want to watch it," because there were so many posts talking about it the next day. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And, people saying, "Oh, you got to come do this." And so I thought, well, we're not going to record those because some pretty crazy shenanigans that happened during those. But we can
I don't think we should.
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
And we can have some of those people and have a conversation with them that we can share with others.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of the participants would like the Friday night recorded.
What happens on Friday night stays on Friday night.
That's what I'm thinking for that. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
It's like the Vegas of Zoom.
I don't know. Maybe like the Atlantic City of Zoom.
Line of Zoom.
Yeah. Oh boy, they just got on Carnival. You can't have they this past week. What did they hit this past week? Bluetooth speakers now. The week before they said you're not allowed to put the pineapple decoration on your door anymore. Carnival Cruise Lines.
What's a pineapple decoration?
Oh boy, that's what your technician was trying to get the bartender to do. Right? Nice. Carnival got rid of. They're like, you know what? You guys, like, that's not this kind of party, so you guys can't have.
Carnival was the party cruise,
right? Well, apparently so did they. So now you can't have pineapples on your door on the Carnival cruise. And then this past week, they're like, you know what? As long as we're going after pineapples, I guess we'll hit Bluetooth speakers because nobody likes your shitty music either.
I think, you know what? If they want to go like have sex with each other and behind closed doors, go to it. Just I don't want to listen to your crappy music. Yeah, I can get behind the Bluetooth. I can get
behind the Bluetooth. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Let them go fuck whoever they want to fuck.
Yeah, whatever people do with their time, that's kind of their business. Well, I'm not.
And their genitals.
Yeah. I'm not here to regulate people.
How do we get on the topic of pineapples on Carnival cruises? So the goal, let's reel it in, bring it in, let's pull it back in. So I'm thinking like once a month, I'm going to be doing a coaching call, like a one-on-one coaching call with a business coach. We've just kind of peeled out one of my shops. Back up. Not everybody knows us. We should probably introduce ourselves. We're 20 minutes in plus.
You first.
Who are you?
Oh, okay. Well, I'm Bryan Pollock. I've been working on cars for a long time, about 22 years now. And I help run 3 shops up here. We have 3 locations. I kind of hang out mostly at one location, but I kind of got to drive around, and I get to do all the back shop responsibility stuff. And my partner Jim, he handles most of the front end stuff. I don't know. We find each other. I don't know. The past couple of weeks we've been in each other's lane a lot. It feels like. But anyways, yeah, that's what I do. We're up here in Western New York, kind of near Niagara Falls area, and that's what I've been doing for a while. And we run quite different than you do, Mike, but you run kind of like the same. We're different, but the same, right? You got 3 locations too. And
we're very different. We're very different businesses.
yeah.
I'm slowly pulling you over to evil shop owner mentality.
Yeah, for sure.
Like when we started getting to know each other, you were totally like 100% technician mindset.
Yeah.
And now
100%.
at least you are open. Now you're at least open to the concept of some of the reasons that things happen. It's one of the things I liked about the evolution of Lucas Underwood over the last 3 or 4 years. Right when he was in the small shop, it was like a 3-bay shop, right? And he was good at what he does, and he had good people, and he treated his customers really well. So it was really easy to be blown out and to be super profitable and everything else. And then he went and he built this big ass shop,
Freaking
like
mausoleum.
this garage mahal he built.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I was looking for. Yeah.
And now he's got all these expenses that go with it.
Sure.
And he's got all this additional staff. And yes, revenue is up, and that as well it should be when you go from 3 to, I think he's got 12 bays now or something. But it's a lot harder to fill a 12-bay shop than it is to fill a 3-bay shop.
There's a lot more problems.
Car count.
There's a lot more problems that come with all those employees.
And suddenly it's like, wait a minute, maybe I should offer a coupon to drive car count.
I'm just thinking employee level. I'm just thinking employee level. If I had 3 bays to fill with technicians, I would just pick our rock star guys and put those in the 3 bays, right?
And they turn $30,000 a month, $40,000 a month in revenue, and you'd outrun expenses by the 12th, and you would bank big bucks.
Yeah, and then
big bucks as a percentage of revenue, but it's not.
Yeah, when you start having to fill like around 21 bays, it's hard to. I don't know what everybody else is doing. I have a couple things figured out in life. I don't have I haven't figured out how to hunt down 21 complete super duper top A level rock stars in Western New York. And not that that's a whole other conversation, because you don't need that anyways. What would I do with 22A guys anyhow? Because nobody would change. I'd be changing all the tires, right? So that's neither here nor there. But that's that's a whole different ballgame.
That's what you do with apprentices. You make them sweep and take out the trash and change the tires and change the oil. And they learn how to work on cars, and so therefore you ruin them. You treat them like a looby, and then they leave after 2 years.
I got a guy that's talking to us that's been at a shop for 5 years that's like that. What you do is you actually go down to the Walmart and you get a bike lock and you lock them to the tire machine. Chain them to the tire machine. You throw them at lunchtime. You throw them a couple slices of pizza and tell them to get back to work.
Hey, we had a new record this month, guys. Like, top line revenue is amazing. I'm probably going to get another boat. You can get 2 toppings on the pizza this week.
Nice. Sick, nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's
I was talking to the guys about this the other week. I was just going to buy lunch for everybody, and I was like, what do you want for lunch? I can't get you pizza because it's become a cliche.
Oh, right.
That shitty owners buy pizza for their staff.
Oh my gosh.
And they were like, but we kind of want pizza. And I was like, I can't do it because one of you motherfuckers is going to take pictures of it and put it up on the internet.
We kind of get on kicks, and like when we're hitting on all cylinders and guys are doing really good, like we start buying like a ridiculous amount of lunch and food. So when we opened, we had what we called fantasy lunch, and you would there was so few employees, you could just dream up whatever you wanted for lunch that day. And we would find a runner to go, I mean, sometimes 45 minutes
Lobster,
or an hour away to bring us lunch from some, I mean, who the heck gets lunch shipped in from an hour drive away, right? And I'm an hour in a rural area. So you're talking about getting lunch shipped in from 40 to 60 miles away sometimes, right? Right? We do that. We call it fantasy lunch. And then it grew, and when you grow and you realize you hire some people that they're good people. They're good people, but maybe they don't have the same push as the core group or whatever, right? So the fantasy lunch got scaled back, and it was like, all right, here's the deal. We're definitely going to buy lunch on Thursdays.
But it's pick 2 from Applebee's.
No, it's still good. But it's like, we're going to buy lunch on Thursdays. Well, like when guys are really hitting, like everything's going good, I think between breakfast and lunch, I think last week we bought 7 times between breakfast and lunch. So I think we bought like 3 breakfasts and 4 lunch last week. But on Friday, we got.
I lost.
Go ahead.
Ahead.
On Friday, we got breakfast pizza, and then for lunch, regular pizza.
Well, it's like 2 raises.
That's what the guys wanted.
You know,
what do you?
So breakfast pizza is bacon, egg, and cheese pizza?
Yeah, bacon, egg, and cheese pizza. And then if you're real nice, they'll put sausage gravy on it, a little bit of that too. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You got two of them bad boys.
I lost a really good technician earlier this year for a couple of reasons, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he went to a fully climate controlled shop, and my shop's not fully climate controlled, and that matters. And it's a shop that does performance builds, which is where his heart and his passion is, and we don't. We work on fucking Honda Odysseys, right?
Yeah, well, I'd rather have the Odyssey, but anyways.
But, he's not operating the business. He's just working on cars, and it's fun to run cars on dynos, right? Yeah. And they were giving him a salary that was roughly equivalent to what he was making with us.
Are they out of business yet?
No.
Man, making money on performance is tough. Anyways, I'm sorry. Keep going.
Well, it's a small shop. And so, like we said with Lucas earlier, right, when he was with 3 Bays, you can kind of do what you want to do, right?
Yeah, right.
But one of the things that he said to one of my guys when they were talking to him was, but they buy lunch every day. I was like, motherfucker, I will buy you lunch every day.
You never asked.
It wasn't about my willingness to do it. It was about the fact that they do it, right? And I was like, man.
I'll tell you, there's all sorts of things that get.
It's the little things. I mean, what does a good lunch cost? $15, $20, maybe.
Yeah, maybe really $20 a guy. You get into some real nice stuff. Like if we get some barbecue catered in, maybe you're into $30 a guy. Maybe you're into 30 a plate, right?
Yeah,
I don't know.
So,
and we trick, we buy all 3 shops, like buy from one supplier. Like we have one first call across the 3.
You get them to pay for it.
So you get them to pay for like 2 of them, like bi-weekly they're buying. And then, you have your oil supplier buys here and there, and you play the game, and it's not, I mean, it's a lot of money. Don't get me wrong. It's a lot of money because it's all money that you could have used. It's like, well, do I want a new road force balancer or do I want to buy a lot of pizza? Right. So it's a lot of money. Pizza for sure. Yeah. And you have to remember too, like my thing with pizza, this is the Western New York area. Like pizza's a thing here. Pizza and wings is a thing when you're near Buffalo, right? It's not like probably getting like guys that have shops in Orlando that think pizza's gross. Well, it's because it is. My mom lives down there. The pizza's freaking horrible. So it's what do you want me to tell you?
The weather's not.
The weather's not. My sister moved outside of she's outside of Leesburg, Virginia, and she thinks that she's going to buy an enclosed trailer and start doing a food, like a food truck, like a pizza food truck. She's like, because this place, she's like, the chicken finger subs are horrible and the pizza's horrible. She's like, I got no use for the food down here. It's terrible. I don't know, man.
I mean, can she get the ingredients she needs to make it good down there?
You can probably have it. Amazon will probably drop it off.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. I digress. Pull it back in. We're going to do one. I'm going to do one call a month. It's a coaching call with one of my shops. And I got distracted and we did introductions for you. My name is Mike Allen. I got 3 shops in Raleigh, North Carolina. Been doing it. Name of my business is Car Fix. This coming month is our 20th anniversary. But my father had a shop in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. My grandfather had a shop in White Cross, North Carolina. It's what our family's done since 1937. It's all we know. Right now I've got 3 youngins growing up, and one of them will probably end up being in the business too. At this point, it looks like it might be my daughter. She's fierce. She told me when she was 8 that she wanted to be the ruler of Car Fix. I thought, baby, you got some things to learn about modern workforce management.
or not, or she's a genius.
Maybe she's already an evil shop owner.
World
She's already in
dominator.
ESO.
The ruler of Carfix. That's the most Zeb Beard thing I've ever heard in my life. I'm going to rule. I'm going to rule this shop. I was on the phone with him the other day, and he's like, all right now. I'm like, he was in his shop on a Saturday. I go, what you doing? He goes, I'm making money so I can build a moat around this place, put a drawbridge in, and have ramparts. And I don't think he was kidding. I think he was.
And fucking alligators swimming in the water.
You better not say it, man. I think he'll do it.
He's like a role model for like. He's like the Antichrist of automotive coaching.
He lives in an area. He has a very broad scope of work, but usually places that don't do a lot of specialty work, they tend to do everything at like average level or maybe above average level, a little bit above average, right? If they're really good. That guy, he's just built different. He's really freaking smart. And I think people think that he's just an internet hard ass, but he's really freaking smart, like insanely smart. And he doesn't take shit from nobody. I just saw.
It's probably really nice to be in a place in life where you don't have to.
Yeah. He. I saw a text message. He sent me a screenshot of a text message today from a guy who wanted to drop some trucks off, and he was basically like, "I already explained to you in the office, you're not putting me on a deadline. So if you can give me an indefinite amount of time to do whatever I want, bring them. But if you're not going to, don't fucking come here."
And that's probably exactly the way you put it, right?
Oh yeah, I didn't paraphrase that. That's verbatim off the message.
Yeah, don't fucking come here.
Don't fucking come here. Yeah.
We got to get him on and talk to him.
I'll make that happen. He's awesome. Yeah, he's funny.
So how do we get him to be totally unfiltered? Or he has no filter anyway, does he?
He'll be fine. Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
My goal with this is when we have guests is to make it like the conversations that happen in the hotel lobby or the bar during a conference.
Yeah. He's one of those guys. That'll be no problem.
Unhinged, unfiltered.
That'll be no freaking problem with him. Oh my gosh.
Who else do we need to get on here?
We gotta have Zeb on. We need everybody from. I'd like to see a wide range of people. I want Jim Kokonis because he makes me laugh. Greg Buckley in Delaware he's been around for a long time, but he's one of the most forward-thinking, smartest dudes I know. He is smart.
He happy. Smart. What a happy dude, man! He's got his shit figured out, man.
Does he even have bad days? Do you think he has bad days? I don't think he has bad days.
I think he's figured out how to have perspective when he has a bad day.
Yeah, we have a customer, and I'm pretty sure that guy doesn't have bad days. He's just always having a great time. Because he comes to you and you fix the car right the first time. I think he's got more going on in his life than Wilco Auto Care. I think he's just found eternal happiness or something. We have two of them now that I think about it. We have two of them that are like that, and they're both a little rednecky. No. One clears property, and one other one's an equipment operator. Maybe it's being by yourself in the cab and nobody bothering you all day. Maybe that's how.
Maybe fucking grinding trees into mulch.
Just
all
grinding
day long.
trees, yeah. Just grinding trees.
You know who else I want to talk to? I don't know if we can get them or not, but I'd like to get Carmen Tracy, either together or individually.
Oh yeah, we could probably work that out.
You think? I don't know. I feel like they're very like straight and proper and like very well behaved, and we might be a little bit. I don't know. You're friends with them.
I think that, I think we can get both unwound. I don't think that'll be a problem.
At the same time?
I mean, I don't know. I'll have to ask.
All right. Got that. I want to get David without Lucas. I want to get Roman unhinged.
Roman unhinged. Just let him go.
Yes. Yeah.
Just freaking let him go.
It's not his show. He doesn't have to care about whether or not it's a total train wreck or not.
Just like those videos when the truck's sitting there and somebody puts a brick on the gas pedal and they reach in the door and just pop it from neutral into drive and stand back and just let the thing go.
Or diesel, runaway diesel.
Yeah, right.
And nobody knows to cover the intake.
Who puts the plywood over Roman's mouth when we got to stop him though?
know him. We just watch
Nobody-
it blow up.
Just watch it come
I'm just
apart.
I'm gonna get him online, and I'm gonna be like, "Hey, man, tell me about COVID
Oh no! Don't!
and tell me about vaccines, bro."
Don't! Why? No. This is a terrible idea.
All right, so we got Carmen Tracy, we got David and Lucas, we've got Greg, we've got Zeb. I was talking to Seth Thorson earlier today. He's opening another shop. He's going into Wisconsin now.
I
So-
know. I talked to him. Oh my gosh, it was today also. Yeah. Weird.
Small world.
Weird.
Yeah, creepy.
Him and I have a lot of technical jokes, things that we see in like locksmithing groups that we kind of make fun of. Like, whatever you do, don't do it the easy way. Save $3 and brick the whole car and cost $3,000 now, you know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
it cost them $3,000, not you.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I don't care what people do. I just that's weird. People are weird, man.
This is one guy. I don't know if you can hear me or not. This is one guy I want to get on here. Rogies Automotive in Hartford, Connecticut. He sent me a hoodie with my name embroidered on it because he's a real one. But he's a straight savage, man. His business is amazing.
Yeah.
He's got fucking like, he'll have the Honda Odyssey and then he'll have like the Rolls Royce.
Oh, right.
Bay by
Yeah.
bay.
Yeah.
Because downtown Hartford, Connecticut, you know, there's a lot of money and there's a lot of sketchy.
Right. Right. Yeah, it's a very
yeah.
wide range of sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think there's a fair amount of organized crime too, but probably not allowed to talk about that.
Details. Details. Who was I just with that used to work intelligence? Oh, they were in Boston.
There's no intelligence in Boston. It's just a bunch of dumb fucks.
It's actually a shop owner. And before he was a shop owner, he started out in the military and he ended up in Massachusetts and he was working intelligence with the FBI, blah, blah, blah. He ended up at one point, he worked for Rick White as a technician. And then he opened up a shop here and Rick White coached him for a little bit. Small world, huh?
That is, yeah.
And I was like, and I'm like, when I say talking to him, I'm not talking about internet talking. Like him and I were sitting in bar stools next to each other, drinking old fashions a couple weeks ago. Like, talk about small world, huh?
Yeah.
Crazy, isn't it?
It's true. So, what trade events are you going to this year?
Definitely tools, definitely ASTA. I'm thinking about TST.
What is TST?
That's a single day event. It's near New York City. It's in Westchester. And it's at a big Marriott hotel there. And it's a little different. So like ASTA or tools or many events that are multi-day events, you go, there's different classes going on at different times. You know, maybe at that time slot, there's the option to take between management and technical. Maybe there's the option to take 8 classes, let's say, right? TST is kind of like, we throw 600 people in one room and you guys are going to sit here and take the same 3 classes as all each other are going to take all day. So, and it's technical. There's been no management training every time I've been there. And it's okay. It's nice. It's not a huge time and financial commitment, right? It's like, you kind of like, for us, like, you know, I live in New York and everybody thinks New York's New York City, but it's actually a 6-hour drive. So it's like a 6-hour drive. So you kind of work most of the day Friday, hop in the truck, roll in 9:00 at night, get up the next day, go to training class, then you're back home Sunday at 2:00 in the afternoon, right? So it's not a huge time commitment. And, you know, if you're not open on the weekend, Mike, it's not a huge, I'm
not open on the weekends.
If you're not open on Saturdays if you're not open Saturdays, it's not a huge revenue loss, right? So that's huge too, right?
So talk about revenue loss and training. Today I booked a dude for a class in Houston in January. So he's flying down Friday. He's in class all day Saturday, all day Sunday, and he's flying back Sunday night on the red eye. He's off Monday. so he'll recover.
Yep.
And then I've got another one who's going to San Diego for 3 days of training. It's just like, fuck, man.
It gets
It's a lot of
expensive.
it's like the Houston one's going to be $5,000.
I know,
San Diego
man.
one's going to be $10,000.
It gets crazy. We shut the whole thing down. All 3 shops shut it all down and went to tools last year.
Well, I mean, that's what I've done for years. I shut them all down and go to ASTA. If it's in your backyard, you kind of got to do it, right? How far is it to Lancaster for you?
That's about the same distance as New York City. It's about 6.5 hour ride. We had everybody drive. Hotel rooms, this, that, and the other thing. I don't know. It was probably freaking $70,000 or something. I don't freaking know.
Oh my fucking God. $70,000 for training.
$70,000. Are you ready for this? Oh my gosh. So $70,000. And I have a technician who attended that training and took technical classes. And Tools is not a very well-known event, but they have top level, like every name that you associate with top level training, whether it be management or technical, is there teaching, right?
Yeah.
All those people are there teaching top level training. I have a guy from our other shop call me today because he can't find the vent valve on a Subaru. So I am on my computer hunting down the vent valve on a car that I'm not even allowed to look at because I'm 12 miles away from the car. And I'm just thinking, we're like talking about planning.
You were part of my $70,000 training bill.
Yeah. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I'm like, and like after I got off the phone, like you don't realize it because like I'm in a zone all the time. So I'm just like, oh yeah, click. You know, I'm clicking around. I go, oh yeah, go to this screen, see this picture. There you go. It's integrated into the canister, right rear wheel, blah, blah, all this technical BS, right? And I get off the phone and I'm like running out the door to grab the next car because that put me behind. I was on that for like 5 minutes or whatever. And I like get in this truck and I like start it up and I'm like, did that just freaking happen? Did I just have to find a part for somebody on a car that I'm not even at right now? They have access to identical what I have access. They don't have like, I don't have like some special access to something that they can't use. Right.
I feel like I could use the tools that we have to find that part on that car.
We have so many of them. When it comes to the service information, we have like the 3 heavy hitters for service information. Plus we have in each shop has multiple flagship scan tools.
The 3 heavy hitters, All Data, Identifix,
and Mitchell. Yep. So they have all 3.
Mitchell's the worst. Mitchell's terrible.
It depends what you're doing. Sometimes what you'll find is you'll figure out which one you're going to use for what you're working on and what you want to know. If you're doing a ton of it, right?
Yeah, like I guess I just think about Mitchell in terms of like writing repair orders, like as a point of sale thing.
Oh yeah, that's the covered wagon. Yeah, that's terrible.
What do you mean covered wagon?
It's like the covered wagon, you know. It's like the Oregon Trail. It's like you're on the Oregon Trail, and your neighbor's on maybe.
Sometimes when you're using Mitchell, you die of dysentery.
Yeah, you feel like it. Yeah, you feel like it. It's terrible. Yeah, like your neighbor, like somebody else is like, oh yeah, I got this sweet Ferrari and I'm going to go down US 1. And you're like, got 2 beat to death horses and a covered wagon that's got a couple
and an old ox.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Anyhow, that's my life. But yeah, I don't know, you start to think about it. You're like, oh my gosh, all this money in training. And then like, I'm one of those people who's always been like super pro technician, obviously. And I'm always like to all these other shop owners, like, well, you don't take your guys training. What do you freaking expect? And then, I got a guy that I have to find the vent solenoid for. Because, and the other place I was going with that. So we have the 3 heavy hitters. And then if you have a flagship model snap-on scan tool, which we have at everywhere, you just go to guided component test and you go to evap and click on vent valve and component information. It'll tell you where it's at. So there was 4 different, And then there's
ways.
Google, right? Believe it or not, you can actually use your phone. It's not just a Snapchatter. You can actually type things in Google and you can find them. That's pretty
But you know what his easiest option was?
Colby.
To call you, and you would do it for him.
Yeah. I'm a terrible person.
So how do you stop that from happening next time?
Well, Mike, it's all about making money, so it's whatever's fastest. I'm not
because
here
nothing else matters.
I'm not here to change lives, Mike. I'm here to make money.
I'm not here to provide a service.
Yeah.
Fuck that. I'm here for another boat.
Yeah. Did I send you? I know I sent it. You were probably in that group. Did I send you the screenshot of me and Jim talking about adding another guy? And I had mentioned something. I go, well, if everybody was on 410s, I don't know. What if you had a couple guys work a Saturday? And he said, I would give my right leg before I work a Saturday, even if I wasn't there. And for everybody who doesn't know, my partner Jim, he's an amputee and he's actually missing his left leg right now already. So
he would be a double amputee.
He would be a double amputee before he would decide to work a Saturday, even if he didn't have to be there.
Just to be clear, I'm opening on Saturdays in 2025.
You know what, Mike? So. Different strokes for different folks. I wish you were closer because I just swiped a real good guy because that place opened on Saturdays. So that was cool.
Well, to be fair, at the same time, I'm going to a 4-day work week. So I'm open 6 days for my customers and we're working 4 days for our team.
How about, what would you think? I'm going to run this situation by you because I'm not afraid to say things. What would you think about a shop that was open 5 days? Okay. And then they go to their technicians. We have this new great thing we're going to do for you. We are open 5 days now. We're actually going to only be open Monday through Thursday. And you're all working 410s. We're not going to be open Fridays anymore, right? So they do that. And then like a year and a half later, they say, hey man, I went to this class somewhere and they said we should be open 7 days. And they went, you know how we told you that you had Friday, Saturday, Sunday off? Well, all of you are going to have a designated amount of weekend days that you're now required to work. That seems a little...
It sounds like a shop owner who's been to a bunch of different training and a bunch of different coaches.
In a very short amount of time, right? There's a lot of flip.
They've gone from one end of the spectrum to the other end of the spectrum.
Yeah. I would just...
There's a market for both of those businesses.
Sure.
It's really hard to be both of those businesses as the same business, though, is the problem.
Yeah. That's tricky. That's a tricky deal.
I think I know who you're talking about.
I'm okay with it because I just pick people up. It's no problem.
You're just going to scoop up text from that organization?
Not intentionally, but people talk and people express displeasure. So,
I will lose employees over opening on Saturday. It doesn't matter how I cast it. It doesn't matter that the 4-day weekend, with the way that we've got the schedule laid out, means that you get 13 5-day weekends a year without using any of your paid time off. If you have children,
I don't work for you. Quit trying to sell me on it.
Well, I mean, but if you have young children, it's still inconvenient as a motherfucker to work on Saturday.
Well, yeah, for 10 months out of the year, it is.
Yeah. If you want to go to junior soccer match or you want to go to junior's peewee football game or whatever else, that's Saturday morning.
Oh yeah, right.
Shop,
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that's a no. That's a no.
So, but if you don't have kids yet, or if your kids are grown, or you don't love your kids and you don't pay child support, then it's a great plan.
Or if you have a lot of child support to pay, maybe you work 6 days a week. Wait, but that's a percentage.
So we had a couple of guys when we told them about going to the 4-day work week. We're going from what we have now is 5 9s. So they've got about 45-hour work week. We're going to 4 10s, right? So it's technically less hours per week that they're working.
Mm-hmm.
And the ones who are like really ambitious and motivated, like, well, can we come in and work additional days? I said, yes, but
Well, that turns into a slippery
only
slope depending on the amount.
only
of
if there's
space.
enough business that it's not taking hours off of somebody else's plate. If
Well, I'm
we're
sure you have
booked
to have
out,
bay overlap too, right? Like there's bays that are going to have 2 toolboxes in them, right?
yeah. Well, we've got 13 bays, so and I've got 9 techs, so
Oh, okay.
be right. Yeah, but so there has to be enough business so that the dudes who are on schedule that day are full, right? Because you can't be taking food off their plate. And the other thing is, you can't work more than 18 days a month, right? Because if you've got a 4-day work week, that's
Right.
19 days, I guess, is what it would work out to. But I don't want you picking up more than 2 times a 5th day,
Right.
because I don't think that that's good for your long term.
I would just say put me in the bay 6 days a week. Give me 2 of those bays and a Pro Cut brake lathe, or I'll go buy my own. Not that. Ooh, they're turning rotors has been a hot thing lately. People have been talking about it.
Yeah, I've seen that conversation.
People are like, they're like fired up about it.
It's not a problem here, bro. We don't have rust. Move south.
Dude, I'm telling you, I don't care. I don't care what anybody else does. I just freaking put new rotors on. Because ours are all rusty. You know, we have.
Bryan, if you're just putting rotors on, you're being lazy and you're being disingenuous to your customers. Don't you know that?
Yeah.
You're a terrible shop owner.
That's exactly what it is. Tell all 137 cars that were on the lot this morning that's fine. I'm sure they think they got it just terrible, which is why they're waiting 2.5 weeks to get their car in for repairs. It must be awful. It's just terrible at Wilco Auto Care. That's why they're driving 8 empty parking lots to get there.
This is an open invitation to all you sons of bitches who have really strong opinions on the internet. Come and confess your sins as the shop owner. And
you went full Buford T. Justice. All you son bitches.
Or tell us that we're morons and we don't know what the fuck we're talking about. That's fair too.
Definitely.
But I'm excited about what this holds for us and what the future looks like. I think so. We're going to have some episodes where it's just us and maybe 1 or 2 other people, like interview basis. And we're going to have some where there might be 10 or 12 of us in here just talking shit, like a Friday night Zoom type deal.
Talking shit is great.
I like talking shit.
But we'll let you know it's recorded if you come to that one.
Shout out to Old Raleigh Distilling. It's the beverage that I've had this evening. Maybe they'll sponsor us if
Nice.
We'll probably need to. What are you drinking? You're drinking out of a dad mug. It can't be something that's full of sins.
That is a Tim Hortons K-Cup and Bailey's salted caramel.
Well, hey, it is winter.
Can I? Do you know what's really funny? I had no intention of drinking, and I actually, the only reason the Bailey's is in there is because I was out of coffee creamer.
Same. Am I seeing just like barely out of the corner of my eye and in the shadow on the wall? Is that your Christmas tree?
This is my porch Christmas tree. I have a skinny tree that I have on my porch, a pre-lit, and I have a real tree in the house.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm a decorator. Look at
old move, own real tree.
Yeah, dude, we went out back, so I have property here, and the kids have been playing outside over the summer, and I have a wooded area. They call it the woods, right? And over the summer, they found a tree and they named it Mr. Christmas, and they wanted it for their Christmas tree. So
so you killed it, and you can never have it again.
Yeah. I went back there. With a big old 60cc Echo saw, and I freaking let her eat. I cut it down, and you know what's funny is when you go to a Christmas tree farm. Have you ever gotten a live Christmas tree before?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know how they run them through that baler, like it drags it through the baler and it makes it all skinny. This freaking thing is 5.5 feet wide. I have a lot of shit. I got a lot of cool shit for a redneck, right? I don't have a Christmas tree baler. So I have to get this 5.5 foot wide Christmas tree through a bunch of 36-inch doors into my house, like 3 deep to get to where it goes in the living room. And there's
everything is covered in sap and pine needles.
Sap and pine needles, dude. I had to go to the Dollar General. I bought all the magic erasers. I was magic erasering like trim for like 2 hours, man. And it's just me here. Like, I ain't got no backup. It's like me and the kids. I'm like, okay, kids, here's your magic eraser. Let's have at it. Yeah, it was freaking great.
That's amazing.
But I'll tell you what,
Right.
my daughter was so happy. She's like, I'm like, well, I don't know what to do because we don't exactly have like patches of pine trees in that wood. So I killed the last dodo bird. You know what I mean? Like the pine trees in our woods are extinct now. Like there's no more. So we'll figure that out next year.
There's more. There's more somewhere else.
Now I'll go walk on the neighbors and go cut one of his, whatever.